Broadcasting live from the land of 10,000 lakes. Your official guide to the Northwest Metro. The food, the people, the entertainment, and of course, the latest real estate news. Welcome to the Northwest Metro Real Estate Report. And now, your host, a licensed realtor helping families with their real estate needs in the Northwest Metro, Amanda Galindo.
Hey guys, it's Amanda Galindo here with Keller Williams, and I'm here at Hayes Pub House in Buffalo. Super excited to have the opportunity to interview Pugs, Hayes, the owner of Hayes Pub House. And they just celebrated their 2-year anniversary, so I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the brewery and how they got started, why they chose Buffalo, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. So thank you so much for setting up the time to sit down with me.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So can you tell me just a little bit about you, where you grew up, kind of just a little history on yourself and your family?
Yep. So not too many people know this about me, but my real name is actually Andy.
Andy.
But I go by Pugs, P-U-G-S. It's been a long, people have called me that for years. And you don't need to know the story, but since like 3rd grade, I've been known as Pugs. Everybody calls me that. So, but I grew up in Monticello, graduated in Monticello, everything. My grandmother owned a restaurant, named Stella's Cafe. So people always ask me where I grew up. I say in a booth.
Yeah.
But realistically, yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's restaurant, learning and watching and observing, and I think I got some of my earliest customer service skills because of that restaurant and wanting to be around people and pursue this type of business. But so yeah, I grew up in Monticello. I live in Big Lake now, and yeah, I chose Buffalo for this business because Buffalo has a really good downtown, but they also have something that coincides with their downtown being the lakeside.
Yep.
So that was my real focus. Where can I set up that has kind of a selling point and a good supportive community, and I sat down with the city of Buffalo, and from day one they were behind it 110%. So there was no questions about it. They wanted it, I wanted to be here, and everything just worked out rather smoothly. So
Cool. So Stella's, where was that in Monticello?
Stella's is right downtown on 75 there. It had an orange overhang and
Is it the Corner Cafe or? Nope. Okay.
No, it was right across the street from the old Johnson store.
I have no idea where that is.
Okay. Where the dance studio is now.
Oh, sure.
That was Gelber's Carpet or something like that.
Okay.
At one
Yep.
time. It's basically right across the street from
Okay.
there. But she was there for many, many years, many good years. I still get people that I come in contact with that miss the food.
Oh.
Is there any way I can get that recipe? And it's like, hey, it's under lock and key. So my mom worked there for 25 plus years. My brothers and sisters got the opportunity to work there. I unfortunately did not get a chance to work there, but like I said, I got something better.
Yeah.
Because I got to be, as young as I was, I got to be around customers. I got to observe and learn and be there late nights with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I run into that have worked at that place still to this day say that was their best job they've ever had.
Awesome.
My grandmother was a great teacher and an amazing boss to work for.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
she's a World War II vet, so I call her Sergeant Stella.
Yeah.
But she passed away about 2 years ago now. So, but she's she still lives on here, and a lot of things that we do here are because of things that I've learned growing up
Yeah.
at that place. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I actually, I just seen that photo of is it your great grandfather that was also in a war? Too?
Yes,
Okay.
and that would be her husband.
Okay.
Tom.
Okay.
Tom Schneider owned Schneider's Pool and Beer,
Okay.
and it was a pool hall, and his father owned it before him. So I have a picture on our pub wall that's dated 1917.
Cool.
In Monticello, and that was the first Schneider Pool and Hall, or Pool and Beer. And then when my grandfather got back from World War II, I believe he bought it from his father.
Okay.
And ran it, I believe, up into the early 80s, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah. And
So-
at that time, him and my grandmother were married, and she had the restaurant, he had the pool hall.
Yeah.
But it was, and that, the pool hall was where H&R Block is now.
Okay.
Yep, in that building.
Just right over by Walgreens.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So that kind of brings me in the next question. How did you get into craft beer and brewing? And it's a fun thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just very complicated. I've asked
It
my
is.
husband for like a kit, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll just buy it from somebody.
Yeah, it is very fun, but don't be mistaken, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
You know, I tell anybody it's very limited brewing. It's a lot of cleaning, sanitizing, and paperwork.
Yeah.
The commercial side of it. Home brewing is, you know, it's the same thing. It's a lot of cleaning and sanitizing, and it's a lot of work. But once you go commercial, I mean, there's paper trails for everything. So
Yeah.
it gets complicated.
Just for the liability aspect of it, or
Yeah.
okay.
Licensing, and I think Jeff O'Brien, he touched on that.
Yeah.
Licensing and how the state and the feds have kind of loosened up a little bit.
Yep.
But things are becoming a little more easier to get into the commercial world. But when I started, it was just kind of growing.
Yeah.
And now it's going crazy right now. But so I got into brewing about 8 years ago, and it was actually myself and a buddy of mine, Josh Diker, who still works here. And we got into, it started by just drinking beer,
Yep.
and then any good ideas come from drinking
Yep.
good beer.
Get crazy
So,
ideas.
It was, okay, if we can drink good beer, why can't we make good beer?
Yep.
We had some failed attempts, but lo and behold, we kept pushing and doing different things, and we kept brewing and kept at it, and eventually we ended up just building our own system.
Yep.
My background is I was a certified welder for almost 10 years, so kind of have that mindset. I think any brewer out there has some type of engineering or what can I do to improve on this, and it's that mindset of why have someone else do it when I can do it myself, type of thing. So but at that time I had been going to school for business management, and I had already started this vision of following in my grandmother's footsteps, and at that time it was an Irish pub, so full service, beer, liquor, and food, because I didn't even touch brewing at that point. So I was going to school for business management, and during that time I got into home brewing, and then laws and regulations that I had been following started to change. They started to loosen up a little bit, so now breweries are able to sell on site via tap room, and that was huge. That was the big one. That one was pretty much what pushed me to just do beer and focus on beer, because I was passionate about beer, but I wasn't really passionate about food. I like to eat food, but I'm not
Cooking and having the
cooking.
restaurant. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And not only that, I think the risk involved in starting a restaurant, and just you know, how investors look at restaurants nowadays, and getting money and getting investors and things to back a restaurant is so much harder.
Yeah.
You know, because they have that image of failure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I knew it would be tough. So I decided, let's just take food out of the equation altogether, and I'll focus on something that I'm passionate about, which is beer, and go that route. And it also allowed us to be the little guy and start small. You know, we didn't have to distribute. We can sell on site and make money and grow slowly. And that's kind of what our, you know, my motto, I guess, from day one has start small and grow slowly.
Yep.
And then it just progressed into that, and next thing I knew, I was looking for buildings and meeting with the city, and here we are.
2 years later.
Dealing with inspectors
Yep.
and paperwork and licensing. So you just, you know, during the time that I was writing my business plan and everything like that, I was fortunate enough to meet some really good people in the industry. One of them, Kieran Folliard, who owned Kieran's Irish Pub, the Liffey, and Cooper at that time, then sold and started Two Gingers Irish Whiskey.
Yep.
And now, again, he's pursuing something else. But throughout this whole time, he had been just an amazing mentor and kind of taken me under his wing to show me some business things and help me develop my business plan.
Yep.
And, just an amazing friend and amazing mentor. Also, Jason Elvey, who was the owner of the Four Firkins, he had helped me a lot too. So some really good people.
Awesome. It seems like that's kind of the community, and you know, everybody kind of supports everybody. It doesn't. I haven't really found. I mean, because everybody's so different. Like you're Irish, and they have just different styles of beers, and so you don't really look at each other as necessarily competition. It's more like, all right, awesome, we got another one, and it just kind of brings more people out to the different communities. So It's really cool.
Exactly, and I think, you know, with craft beer, it you can say it's you know, somewhat subjective. I mean, somebody's going to come in and drink this and they're going to love it, and then the next person's going to come in and drink the same thing and they're going to hate it.
Right.
You know, so what's nice is having choices and different breweries. It's great because I'll brew a pale ale. It's going to be different than that guy's pale ale.
Yep.
And that could be anything. I mean, it could be the water, it could be the brewing equipment, and most importantly, it could be the ingredients and the brewer.
Right.
So it's great because you have hundreds of different pale ales, etc.
Yeah.
But they're all different. You know. So and the amazing thing about craft beer is there's a flavor for everybody. You know. So even if you don't enjoy beer,
You'll find something.
You can now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's nice, you know, we have the Doulahan Coffee Porter, which was our first kind of collaboration with another local business here, Buffalo Books and Coffee.
Oh, cool.
And surprisingly, it's been a really good introductory beer for people that don't necessarily drink beer or like beer.
Isn't that more like a heavier like style of beer, a porter?
Not necessarily.
No?
It's more of a medium.
Okay.
Our base porter is more of an English style porter, which is kind of dialed down, more drinkable. But you know, you put fresh, cold pressed coffee on top of it, and it tastes like coffee.
Really? I'll have to try it.
You know, we get a lot of people in here that are like, well, I don't like dark beer, and I'm not much of a beer drinker. Well, do you like coffee? Oh, I love coffee. We'll try it. You know, and that's really our focus here, is getting people to step out of their comfort zone and try something new, because you never know, they might like it. You know, 9 out of 10 times we've gotten that person that doesn't like dark beer or doesn't like beer at all, and they can drink the coffee porter. So now it's like, you can go brag to all your friends, I drink dark beer.
Yeah.
Or I drink beer, you know, craft beer.
Yep.
You know? I don't drink the yellow fizzy stuff. You know?
Oh, that's funny. I feel like a beer snob sometimes because I don't really like. I'm like, oh, my golden. I don't want that. Like, just I like hoppier, stronger stuff. Where my husband, he's not a big beer drinker, but
Yeah.
he'll find something that he likes. Usually when we go different places.
Yeah.
Usually the lighter stuff.
Yeah, and that's what's great about it. I mean, you can go virtually anywhere and find something you like.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I love about it. And I think, you know, a good percentage of this job is educating anyways. You know, that's our jobs as brewers, as you know, bar backs or people that work the tap room. Is it's not just pouring beer, it's interacting with the customer, it's giving them an experience, and that means educating, because we get many people that come in here and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
This is my first time here, and
Yep.
it's like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Yeah, usually everybody's really helpful anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys kind of have an Irish feel. That's the theme here at the pub house. So how did you decide on that?
So now let's go over to the other side of the family.
Okay.
So now we're talking about my father's side, which is the Hayes side.
Okay.
So our last name Hayes is of Irish English descent. I just say British. People come in here and they say, "Oh, Hayes, you're Irish." Well, I'm American.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that totally confuses them. You know, it's like, okay.
Oh, that's funny.
So back when I first started this, I really got into like genealogy, and I love history, and so I did a little tracing of our family roots, and that's kind of where it stemmed from. I was like,
Okay.
you know, and what's really cool about Irish pubs, even here in the States, is it's relatable. You know, anybody anywhere can walk into an Irish pub and they know what it's about.
Right.
You know, I think that's the worst fear of somebody that's going to a new place is they don't want to be confused. Like they don't want to walk in the door and not know what's going on. And I think an Irish pub just has that homey,
Warm feeling.
warm feeling, hospitality.
Yep.
You know, and the Irish are known for their hospitality. So that was one thing. Kieran, one of my mentors, told me he's from Ireland, so it was very important for him to stress hospitality.
Yep.
It's all about hospitality. So I think that was another big reason, not just, you know, the family history and everything like that, but it's relatable. It's cozy, and people love Irish pubs, whether they claim Irish descent or whatever. Anybody loves a good Irish pub.
Awesome.
So
So how many different beers and stuff do you have on tap?
right now we have 7 on draft, and then we are starting to bring back our Firkin Friday.
Okay.
Which is, we do cask beer on our hand pull, which is basically called real ale, and it's pulled instead of pushed. It's
Okay.
naturally carbonated in the cask,
Okay.
and then we pull it with a beer engine. So it's more traditional style of serving beer.
Okay.
Yep. So that would give us 8.
Awesome. Do you guys have like seasonal stuff too that you bring on?
We do.
I had seen something on your Facebook about one you're having tomorrow. That sounded really good.
Yeah, it's hard for us because we brew such small batches.
Yeah.
To keep something seasonal, because when we put it on, it's like, well, we only have so much of it anyway.
Yep.
And then we end up somehow keeping it on for longer.
Yeah.
Because it goes over so well. Like our coffee porter was actually supposed to be our fall seasonal beer last year,
And you still got it on
and
tap.
still got it. I'm afraid I'll get death threats if I take it off. But yeah, I mean, we have our Dykers Wee Heavy, which is a strong Scotch ale for winter. That one's 9%. And then for spring, we do like a nice session IPA. It's like 4.8%.
Okay.
You get your hoppiness and your bitterness, but without the alcohol.
Okay.
So you can have a few of them and still function.
Yeah. They get strong. Some of them,
Yeah.
it's like, holy buckets, you got 2 of them, you're like ready to go home.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think so. A lot of times people don't realize that, especially if it's the first time. Their cheeks are getting all rosy. And it's like,
Yeah,
holy
and I think what's nice too about the styles of beer that we brew, I know that we have some higher alcohol content beers on there, but the styles of beers that we like to brew, British, Irish beers, they tend to be more sessionable beers anyway, traditionally. Now our motto here is kind of inspired old ale, so we take traditional beers and we kind of put our spin on it. Is basically what we do.
Awesome.
So it's our take on a traditional beer. Is it exact? Maybe not, but craft beer.
That's the fun part of it. You can do whatever you want. Cool. So do you have anything coming up in the month of December? Any specials? Any events?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have our Fountain Jacks, which is named after my great-grandfather, Andrew Jackson Hayes. And his nickname was Fountain Jack because he lived on Fountain Lake, just south of Montrose, I believe, where the old homestead is. Anyway, his nickname is Fountain Jack, so we named our English Old Ale Fountain Jack's Old Ale, and we brewed that with molasses. And that one's been barrel aging in bourbon barrels from Panther Distillery since July.
Oh my gosh.
So we're looking to hopefully bottle release that this month before Christmas, but we'll see.
Okay. So people will have to check out your Facebook page for that.
Yes. Always check
posted.
out Facebook, Instagram, all the social media. I try and update.
What's your Instagram handle?
Just Hayes Public
Just
House.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So you just recently too started some distributing to local restaurants.
We did.
How would they get in touch with you if like a local restaurant is wanting to add your beers on tap?
Facebook, email, they can call me. I think my number is on the website.
Okay.
So yeah, right now we started distributing back in May, I believe, if I remember right. And we've just been growing slowly. And right now we have roughly 5 accounts, and we'll be taking on hopefully another 4 to 5 by 2016.
Awesome. I feel like it's a good way too for local restaurants just to get involved with other business owners in the community, and it's just another way for them to draw in people. Like if I like you and I like this restaurant, I'm going to go there because I have your beer, because I can't necessarily, you're not open every single day.
Right.
So
yeah, and we have people that come in here and they drink until 10 o'clock when we close, but then they go up the street to the local bar.
Yep.
And I would really like them to continue drinking our product.
Yep.
So that's another thing I'm trying to push, locally. But
yeah, awesome.
It's been growing. It's been going really well.
Cool. Well, I am going to put all your links on this podcast here for the Facebook, email, website, everything. So if anybody needs to get a hold of you, they can. And if you guys want to come check out Hayes Pub House, it's here just by the lake, downtown Buffalo. What's the address here?
112 First Street South.
And it gets super busy in here. So if you're going to come check it out, just make sure that you come early, especially if it's a Friday or Saturday.
And if you see me here, don't ever be afraid to come up and talk to me and ask me anything you want, or take a tour or whatever.
Yeah, he's super awesome, really nice guy. So thanks for listening. If you guys need to get in touch with me, let me know, and we will talk to you next month.